Mauricio Vila Dosal, Mérida, Yucatan Governor. The Dzilam Yucatan Reserve is home of 954 species. In May 2022, Huawei and UICN started a project. Digital technology improves the preservation of jaguars. The project uses devices for monitoring sounds. We registered the surveillance and we loaded in record time. Tech for All unblocks the possibilities that were able not foreseen. It's time to restore with technology, algorithms, and collaboration.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenos días. Me da muchísimo gusto
Morning.
saludar.
I'm very happy to greet you. Thank you for being on time. My name is Paulina Greenham, and it's an honor to me to be here because I think that after so many news that we see all the time, and sometimes these are not the news that we want to hear, but today we gather to have a load of good news of union, hope, respect about nature. Today is a day where we need to clap for being here. Thank you for being here in such a special day. On behalf of Huawei, we want to give you the warmest welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being on time and being with us today. We appreciate your presence today as part of our Tech for Nature Forum. This is hosted by Huawei and the IUCN. The goal of this event is to share all of the achievements 1 year after starting the project with the government of Yucatan, conservation specialists from sea mines, the Polytechnic University of Mérida, Rainforest Connection, and the great and beautiful community of Dzilam de Bravo. They all receive us with a very warm heart, and this is the protagonist of this story, and which is a refuge for many plant and animal species, especially the feline that we know is endangered, which is the jaguar. I would like to begin this event by presenting Qiang Hua. He's here. He's the chairman of the subsidiary board of Huawei Mexico, as well as Adolfo Jin, who's the director of public affairs of Huawei Mexico, and they will tell us a little bit what is going on with this project. Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm chairman of the subsidiary board of Huawei Mexico. I came to Mexico last year and I'm only starting to learn Spanish. I hope that you're able to understand me. It is a pleasure to me to be here with all of you in representation of Huawei, and I want to thank you, teacher Saida Rodriguez, who's the Secretariat of Sustainable Development of Yucatan, Nadim Salim, who is on behalf of UICN, Regina Cervera from Sea Mines, Professor, who's also here with us, and the community of Dzilam. We have also the governor of Yucatan, Mauricio Vila, who was not able to be here with us today.
A todos nuestros distinguidos amigos
to all of our press allies, strategic allies, and everyone on the community from Dzilam de Bravo who are with us. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. It is an honor to me to share the work that we have done and all the findings that we have found during the project called Tech for Nature Mexico. Congratulations and thank you for all your effort and all the effort of all the people who have participated. Adolfo, Jean, and everyone who has been part of this great project. Now, please, Adolfo, if you would like to come to the stage.
Muy buenos días a todos.
Good morning,
Soy Adolfo
everyone.
Jean,
My name is
Director
Adolfo
de
Jean.
Relaciones Públicas de Huawei México.
I'm the Director of Public Affairs of
Quiero
Huawei
felicitar
Mexico.
a
I
todos
want to
los que han puesto
congratulate
su esfuerzo en
everyone
este
who has
proyecto.
put effort
for Nature
in
Mexico.
this project, Tech for
Sobre
Nature
todo ahora
Mexico,
que
especially
justo cubrimos
right
un año
now
de este
that
gran
it's
programa.
been a year after
México es
starting
un
this
país
great
grande,
project.
y
Mexico is a
recursos
big
naturales
country.
abundantes.
It has
Y el que
a lot of
Yucatán es
natural resources,
especialmente
and Yucatan
famoso
is
por su
especially
patrimonio
famous
natural
for
y
its
cultural,
natural
con un
and
ecosistema
cultural
de
heritage
humedales de manglares,
with mangroves,
contribuyendo así a la
and they
conservación
contribute
de
to
la
the conservation
biodiversidad
of
en el
biodiversity
planeta.
in the planet.
Tech for Nature Mexico
Tech for
es
Nature
el ejemplo de
Mexico
trabajo
is
en
an
el área de
example of
protección del
work
medio ambiente.
in the
También es una
protection of the
instancia
environment, and
de
it's
colaboración
also
significativa
a
entre
collaboration
diferentes
instance
sectores,
in different sectors
a través de una alianza multisectorial.
through a
La
multi-sectorial
organización Siemens,
alliance. We have Siemens
la Secretaría de
organization,
Desarrollo
we
Sostenible
have
de Yucatán,
Sustainable
la
Development
Unión Internacional
Entity
para la
in Yucatan.
Conservación de la Naturaleza
We also have
y
the
Huawei,
UICN as well
la
as
comunidad
Huawei.
de Dzilam,
We also
la
have the
Universidad
community of
Politécnica
Dzilam
de
de
Yucatán,
Bravo as well as the
Rainforest Connection
the
y personas
Polytechnic
expertas.
University of
Han
Yucatan.
trabajado de
Rainforest
la mano
Connection
para
and
acelerar la
experts have
protección
worked
del
hand in
jaguar
hand to
y la
accelerate the
conservación
protection
de la
of the jaguar
biodiversidad a
as well
través
as the
de uso de
conservation of
sistemas de
biodiversity
inteligencia artificial.
using AI
Este
systems.
mes estamos cubriendo un
month
año de haber lanzado este
Is a
gran proyecto,
year after launching
en
this
el que
great
hoy
project,
veremos
and today
el resultado de
we'll see the
esfuerzo
results
de todas las
of all the
personas que
effort
han colaborado
of
en él.
everyone who has been involved in it.
En Huawei
At
estamos
Huawei,
comprometidos
we are
con la
committed
inclusión digital
with digital
queremos
inclusion,
la tecnología
and
a
we want
cada
to take
persona,
technology
hogar
to every
u
person,
organización,
home,
logrando así un
organization.
mundo más conectado
That way we can have a more connected
inteligente.
world
para Huawei.
For
Ser
Huawei
colaborativo
to
y
be
sostenible
collaborative
es
and
parte de su
sustainable is
ADN.
part of their
Es por ello que
DNA.
Huawei cuenta con
That is why
diferentes
Huawei
programas
has
dentro de
different
su
programs
estrategia
within
de
its strategy
sustentabilidad.
of sustainability.
Aparte de Tech for Nature Mexico,
Besides Tech for
también
Nature
tenemos
Mexico, we
proyectos
also
como el
have
Smart
other
Truck,
projects as a Smart Truck,
camión que llega a zonas
which is
rurales,
a bus that goes to rural
proporcionando
communities,
contenido educativo digital.
bringing digital
De
educative
igual forma,
content.
a través de
In the
programas
same
como
manner,
Semillas
through
para el
programs
futuro,
as
para el
Seeds
futuro,
for the Future,
buscamos desarrollar al talento
we try to
digital,
develop
que el día
digital
de
talent
mañana estará seguramente
that
trabajando
probably
con temas
at
de
some point
tecnología
they
para un
will
mundo
start
más
working in
inteligente y
technologies
sostenible.
for a more interconnected
final,
world and also a
Los
sustainable
invito a ver
world.
todo
In
lo
the
que
end,
se ha logrado,
I would like to
estando
invite you to
conscientes
take a
que
look
el
at
uso de la
everything that we have
tecnología
done
está
and being
generando un
aware that the
impacto
use of technology
ambiental
is
y social
generating
positivo
a social
gran
and
estado de
sustainable
Yucatán,
impact that is very
y que
positive
seguramente
in the state of
veremos
Yucatan,
replicado
and we will
en
probably
el
see
resto
this
del país.
replicated in the rest of the
Pero
country.
también, tanto muestra
But also,
de que el trabajo en equipo
we want
entre
to show
sector
that
privado,
teamwork between
gobierno,
private sector,
sociedad
government
civil,
sectors, civil
comunidad
society,
academia.
communities, and the academy,
podemos lograr
we can
grandes
achieve
cosas juntos.
great things
Por
together.
último,
And
bienvenidos
finally,
y muchas gracias.
welcome And thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias. Gracias
Thank
por sus
you very
palabras. Y
much
creo que es
for
tan
all
importante
your
cuando
words,
hablamos
and
de
it
la
is very important
colaboración,
when we
lo que
talk
nos decían
about
ahorita,
collaboration,
con los estados,
collaborating
con el gobierno, con las
states,
personas, con
government,
las comunidades,
people,
y utilizar
communities,
la tecnología a nuestro
and
favor, que a
bringing
veces se
and
nos
using
complica un poco
technology
y la
in
vamos
favor
conociendo y
of
sabemos todo
us.
lo bueno que se puede
Sometimes
hacer.
it
Así
gets
es que la
complicated, but it's great,
conservación,
and we
como bien
learn
nos lo
what to
decían
do.
y nos comparten esta visión,
Conservation,
Adolfo y Xianghua, muchísimas
as
gracias. La
Xianghua and
conservación de los
Adolfo were
ecosistemas
sharing,
es
the
sin duda algo
conservation of
de lo que todos nosotros
is something
deberíamos
in
de
which
estar
each
poniendo
one of
nuestro
us
granito de
should
arena.
do our bit.
Todos unirnos para que todos los
We
días
should
hagamos el cambio
join
en lo que podamos
together
desde
so we
nuestra
can
casa,
create a
en la
change
educación de
starting from
nuestros
home,
hijos, en nuestro
in
trabajo,
education
como
of our
podamos para poder
children
tener
and
un
at
planeta
work, so
mejor,
that we
un
can
lugar
have a
mejor para
better
vivir
world,
y
a better
dejárselo, por
place to live
supuesto,
in,
a
and
las
to leave
generaciones
that to
futuras. Así
future
es que es
generations.
muy importante lo que hoy
So
hablamos.
it is very
Hablamos de hacer
important. The
conciencia como
subject that we are
humanidad
talking
y
about,
creo
we
que lo
need to
están
create
haciendo muy bien.
awareness
Muchas
in the
felicidades.
humankind,
Así
and
es
I
que
think
ahora me
you're
gustaría
doing
invitar
this
también a este
greatly, so
escenario. Me da mucho gusto
congratulations.
que esté
Now
con
I would like
nosotros
to invite
Nadine Selim, que es
Nadine
de
Selim
Greenleaf Project
from the
Leader
Greenleaf
de
Project Leader at
IUCN, perdón, que ha jugado
IUCN,
un papel muy
and
importante
she has
en el
played a
último
vital
año.
role
Bienvenida,
in
Nadine.
the
Muchas
past
gracias
year.
por estar aquí.
Thank you, Nadim, for being
Y
here.
a IUCN, que ha hecho
And
un papel
also to
increíble en esto.
IUCN, who
Gracias.
has had an incredible role in this.
Licenciado
Mauricio Vila Dosal, Governor of the Yucatan State, Teacher Zaida Rodriguez, Secretariat of Sustainable Development of the State of Yucatan, Juan, Chairman of the Subsidiary Board of Huawei Mexico, collaborators, and everyone who are here today. It is a pleasure to me to be here today virtually, celebrating the advantages and results of the initiative Tech for Nature in Mexico. As Director of Latin America and the Caribbean of UICN, I am very happy that Mexico was selected as one of the 5 countries that represent and will use the piloting of technological solutions in favor of conservation. UICN recognizes to be able to implement the Nature 2030 program in an effective way, as well as sticking to the biodiversity framework. We will need technology, data, and innovation. Innovation in data management, machine learning, and IA are able to improve, very importantly, our knowledge and perceptions about the state of conservation of species and ecosystems, allowing us to create initiatives of conservation and tracking that are a lot more informed. As from UICN, we want to emphasize the very important role of TI and communications, IT and communications, and how we can capitalize these to be able to create investments and associations in benefit of conservation. In this manner, Tech for Nature is a great example of an association among sectors of conservation and IT and communication sector, and this will allow us to take advantage of the use of digital technology to improve results in the conservation and around protected areas and conserved areas. Besides implementing piloting initiatives in the 5 sites worldwide, one of them is the State Reserve of Dzilam de Bravo. Tech for Nature will allow that more than 300 protected areas assess their conservation impact through the Green List standard from UICN. Tech for Nature is an association that we began, and it is a project that will last for 3 years. We really hope to see the potential of a long-term relationship on behalf of the IT and communication sector. With this, we want to follow up and fully realize and take advantage of technology in favor of conservation of nature. Mexico is the first country in Latin America to get together on the network of Tech for Nature with Spain, China, Switzerland, and Mauritius Islands. In Mexico, this is implemented by the government of Yucatan, sea mines, and participation of the Polytechnic University of Yucatan, Rainforest Connection, the community of Dzilam de Bravo, and local experts. This is a great example of the vision that Tech for Nature wants to achieve globally. This multi-sectoral collaboration shows that the leadership of the local government, as well as the communities and stakeholders, both private and public, are key to have an impact that has global effects. After a year of starting this project, we want to celebrate the achievements that we have and that are based in motivation, collaboration of all stakeholders in this initiative. I want to thank the state of Yucatan for trusting us and trusting UICN to work with you during this process. And I'm very sure that this event will be inspiration to keep working with passion and commitment for the conservation of Mexico and our beautiful region. Thank you very much.
Buenos días a todos y a todas.
Good morning,
Quería
everyone.
complementar
I
las
would
palabras
only
de
want
la
to
directora
add
regional
something to
José
the
María.
words of the
Desde la
director.
Unión Internacional para la Conservación
From
de
the
la Naturaleza, es un honor,
UICN, it is
un
an
gran
honor, a
estar
great
aquí
honor to
con
be
ustedes
here
el
with
día
you
de hoy.
today.
El año pasado estuve aquí para el
Last year,
lanzamiento,
I was
para
here
el lanzamiento del proyecto
for
Tech for Nature México,
the kickoff
y
of the
estoy llena
project
de orgullo,
Tech for
que
Nature,
estoy de
and
vuelta
I'm
otra vez a
really,
Mérida
really
para
proud to be
celebrar
back
con
in
ustedes
Merida,
el
to be
progreso y
able
el
to
impacto que ha
celebrate with you
logrado
the progress and the
proyecto.
impact that we have achieved.
Hoy, todas las
Today,
instituciones sociales de este
all the
proyecto
social
están
institutions of this project
reunidos otra
are
vez para
gathered
compartir,
here again to
celebrar con
share
ustedes
and
un año
celebrate with you
de colaboración,
a year of collaboration,
dedicación y sus grandes
dedication,
logros,
and
que
of
hace
course,
un año
great
eran
achievements.
solamente una ambición.
And last year, this was only
Algo que nos
a great
emociona
ambition,
y que
something
queremos
that
destacar mucho
excites
es
us
la
and
capacidad
that we want to
institucional de
highlight
manejo de las
is the
reservas
institutional
naturales por parte del gobierno,
capacity
del
of the
Estado, pues hoy
government,
la reserva
because
de
today
Dzilam es un sitio
the
candidato
reserve of
de la
Dzilam de
lista
Bravo
verde de áreas
is a
protegidas y
candidate of the
conservadas de la
Green
OICN.
List of UICN.
La lista verde de la OICN
The
es el
Green
primer
List of
estándar global de
UICN is the
manejo y
first
gobernanza
global
de las
standard
áreas
of
protegidas
handling
y
and
conservadas.
governance of protected
Esta
areas.
certificación
This
internacional
certification
tiene como
is
objetivo
international
aumentar
and
y
has
reconocer
the objective
número
of
de áreas
recognizing the
justas y
number of
efectivas a nivel
areas that
mundial.
are
Y este
globally.
estándar
This
juega
standard
un rol clave
plays
en
a key
hecho
role
a
in
guiar
Take for
y
Nature
garantizar el
because
uso de
we
la tecnología
guarantee the use
apropiada
of
dentro de
technology
esta iniciativa,
within this
que
initiative.
es uno de nuestros
This is
principales
one
objetivos
of our
tanto de
main
la OICN
objectives,
como de
both
los
from
socios
UICN as well as stakeholders. So fostering the participation of Dzilam de Bravo in decision making and data handling is key part for the success of this project, from the planning to the implementation. We are very sure that very briefly this area will be recognized in the Green List of UICN from the great handling and governance, but also the use of IT in objective to get the recognition. Also, Ursula Faria was mentioning IT as an enabler of conservation. We want to recognize sea mines and AI for climate, the Secretariat of Sustainable Development of Yucatan, as well as the University, Rainforest Connection, and all the institutions that have been part of this as guide hand in hand with the community of Dzilam de Bravo. That is an example today and a replicable model worldwide. Finally, I would like to share with you my inspiration and ambition towards the future for this region, and again say congratulations on behalf of UICN to all the stakeholders in Yucatan for all your efforts. Thank you very much. you. Thank you, Nadim, for being here. We loved hearing you. And I don't know if you know, but one of the most positive energies that we have and it has in highest frequencies is to be thankful, to be a thankful community and a thankful person is one of the greatest frequencies that we can be here. I don't know if you're able to perceive this, but I think today we are all grateful. The young people, universities, entities, we are all grateful about what is happening today with this project. So appreciation to you. Thank you for being here and for what you're doing for the planet. Now, from the UICN, it is an honor today to have, just give me a second. I just need to find something while you're still here chatting, Alberto. Just give me a second to be able to introduce the teacher because she is with us, teacher Zaida Rodriguez, Secretariat of Sustainable Development of the State of Yucatan, and she will be presenting the results obtained during this year of work. This has been a very important year because we have seen how technology is present in the field. Things that we have never imagined, things that are sometimes scary, talking about AI or technology in the field, and they get to Dzilam the and they say we're gonna bring technology to be able to find the animals, save the planet, and this has been very important. So what do you think if we welcome teacher Zaida so that she can tell us what this project has been about and bringing technology to the field? Thank you. Thank you. Let's try to use technology now. Good morning to everyone. Paulina already excited you with the energy and the vibe that we are living today. Let me talk to you and begin today by greeting you and also congratulating you on behalf of Mauricio Vila Dosal. As the director was saying, he's passionate about the environment subject. He's newly in love because he's starting to learn about the importance about biodiversity and the role of these in sustainable development. He left a message for us, but he was not able to join today. But he's very excited about the results that we have gotten with this project. He was with us last year to launch this project along with Nadim, and today we are presenting the results. Of course, I want to greet all the representatives of all the allies, and we have been working together in Tech for Nature. Thank you for all your support during this year. And of course, you are very, very welcome to Yucatan and our most important allies, which are the people from the community. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to your home, to the International Congress Center. So let me start telling you why we're doing this. We understand that Yucatan is a place with a biodiversity that is unique. Maybe we didn't know how big or how important, and we haven't taken the time to understand how important biodiversity is for all people in Yucatan and people in Mexico. Regarding this subject, what do we need to do now? Conservation and effective regeneration of biodiversity is one of the great items and opportunity areas. But to be able to get here, we needed to find a new way because we have tried many other ways. So we wanted to understand the effects of climate change on our ecosystems and priority species. So as we have also heard, technology is the tool that we think with innovation we are able to do things differently. So we think with the power of technology, but with a focus on communities, is how we will be able to understand the subject that we see very, very far from us, like AI, and how through multi-sectoral collaboration we can use this for conservation and regeneration of biodiversity. In the government of Yucatan, we value this. We value our natural heritage, but also the relationship of this heritage with our cultural heritage, that we always brag about this. But this is also a great opportunity area so that jointly we can set the foundation for these subjects. Today we have 9 natural areas in the state. We have 9 protected natural areas in the state. These are more than 30,000 hectares, which represent 14% of Yucatan. These are only areas protected by the state. In this map that you see here, we can see how they are distributed throughout the state. As you can see, something that we always mention is that all the coast is protected from state reserves or federal reserves. Tech for Nature, as we all know, and we have mentioned, is having a... Oops, sorry, we had an interruption. Don't worry. So we have Tech for Nature, and it is in our federal state reserve called Dzilam de Bravo. I said this on social media. This is my favorite reserve, but don't tell this to the others. We are preserving 61,000 hectares, specifically mangroves, and we also have savanna ecosystems, which is an interchange of corridors that are very, very important for all the species that through Tech for Nature now we are able to know the size. In this state reserve, the importance of the mangrove, we recognize that in Yucatan we have the 3rd place in Mexico in mangrove extension. And today the best mangroves are in Dzilam de Bravo. That is why today, well, not today, but a year ago, we chose Dzilam de Bravo to be able to have the pilot of Tech for Nature. So now we're going to watch a video. It had sound on. It is worth seeing these images of the mangrove. Please take a look at this. This is part of the team going through the first immersions that we had alongside of members of the community of Dzilam de Bravo. And we started discovering the ideal areas to be able to set up Tech for Nature and to determine which would be the sampling areas that would be more adequate for the project. It's a beauty. Many of the people present here have been able to join us at any part of the process to be able to live what it is like to be there. It's a little bit hot, but it's also marvelous to see the nature. So within Tech for Nature, we determined one of the first objectives to establish a target. What is it that we will look for with Tech for Nature? So we chose this individual sea that you see on my left and in front of you, which is the jaguar. Why the jaguar? The jaguar is a species, endangered species, and why is it priority? It's an umbrella species, and we are able to determine if it is in a great state of conservation. We are able to protect many other species that are dependent of it. So we need to understand which are these great items that are able to be a threat for these species and the population species of this area in Yucatan and the whole peninsula. So we see that the loss of the habitat for deforestation, also a conflict between the jaguar and farming, which was present, and also hunting, illegal hunting, which is one of the subjects that we need to fight. These are the threats for these species that we now understand and we are able to quantify, but we are looking on how to use the information to fight these three challenges and threats. That's why the monitoring, extensive monitoring of jaguars, because they take up a lot of space, and we need to do this continuously, but not invade their space. We needed to ensure that our monitoring system would guarantee the protection long term. Thanks to this multi-sectorial alliance with the government of Yucatan, but especially to the people who live around Dzilam de Bravo, UICN, Huawei, LATAM, Sea Mines, UPY, and recently Compra Natura in the peninsula of Yucatan, and also discovering Rainforest Connection and many other research institutions that work with us. Today, we are able to say that after a year of implementing this initiative of Tech for Nature in this territory, we have the first results. They are amazing, they excite us, but above all, they give us hope of the following steps that we need to walk through in the very important subject of conservation of biodiversity. We are very proud to hold proof that the best way of getting results is getting alliances and teamwork. With these alliances, we have three goals: have enough data, but also reliable data and in-time data. The second objective is developing something that we didn't understand. It's been hard, but being able to develop algorithms for detections of jaguars, but also discovering other species that are of interest in this area, and that we are very excited that we are going for more species by using algorithms. And finally, creating value in knowledge, belonging, and creating opportunity area of valuing and using the resources wisely, getting to the objectives of conservation, as Nadim was saying, based on the Green List standard from UICN. And also being able to transfer this knowledge to local communities about adaptation and adoption of technologies, and discovering what we're going to do with all this data and how we can do things that allow us to communicate to the world the treasure that we have in Yucatan. Also, we are very happy to say that we have this monitoring system made of audio mods and cameras that have tolerated all the seasons and climate seasons in Yucatan that we know this is very extreme, and that it also changes according to the ecosystems and the transition areas where they are placed today. And this has allowed us to gather data in time and also in a reliable manner. Of course, I would like to recognize and thank our allies from the communities. We have them all here, and they also have their families with them. We are very happy and excited to be able to share this achievement, because it is your goal, it is your achievement, and you have taken us to learn the root of conservation at Dzilam de Bravo. And today you are and you will always be key stakeholders and part of the success of this project. It is important also to recognize the role of technology in these kind of projects, because without these, and this is just so that you can have an idea, cameras have been around for long, but put them in a framework such as Tech for Nature is ambition in a positive way of saying we are going to find more and more images that allow us to generate a reliable system. But these implies many images. Even when we have very efficient biologists, we would not be able to analyze all the images that we had. We have above 30,000 images and videos, above 500,000 recordings, and we have had all this in the project. We had a very quick calculation, but we had an estimate of 400 days of 24 hours to be able to look through all of the images, to be able to identify what we already know today through the algorithms, in which, of course, Huawei, Siemens, Siemens have helped us to understand all of this. In this analysis, we had the importance of understanding with the objective of why we want to understand this. And we want to understand this so we can learn the dynamics of population of jaguars to determine how many there are, in which state they are, how they are moving, and how we are able to interconnect them with other corridors, biological corridors, if we can say that they are from Yucatan and they are an isolated population. As a result, we have the development of two specific algorithms. One, the jaguar, our objective population target. The experts developed. I did not do anything about algorithms. I do not know about that. But experts developed the algorithms for detection of jaguars, but also another algorithm to identify interesting species, and that it is important to identify their presence and also their health state within the ecosystem in this area. We are also in advanced stages of development of another algorithm to identify the individuals around the jaguar and to be able to track through the patterns each of the individuals of the jaguar. And also some numbers that are important to share. We have identified 88 birds, 22 mammals, 4 amphibians, and 5 reptiles. And from these, 34 are endangered, vulnerable, and in danger of extinction. Of course, this takes us not only to value what we have in the reserve, but also to take action to be able to guarantee their conservation. Also, let me tell you, and I'm going to be a little bit bragging, with Rainforest Connection, we have started a project to be able to have the acoustic data that we have so that we can monitor the species in these protected areas. What is it that we want with this platform? We want to be able to identify, if I want to see a species, for example, that I can see where am I more likely to see. I'm going to be in Yucatan in November. So to be able to identify, according to the background and the data, which are the patterns of movement of this species and where it will be more likely to see these species. This is a way for using this platform and to relate the status and the territory status with holograms and sightseeing. Also, we'll be launching a new platform of image recognition. We are talking about sounds and image. This one was created by UPY, and the objective is to be a catalyzer of the collective action and to add what it is done in many other places and to say, I also saw a jaguar here. So to add all of these and extend all the efforts that are being done in Dzilam de Bravo, but also extending these to different areas. And we know that there are a lot of academic efforts, but also from areas that are voluntarily destined to conservation. As you can see with this project, we have had gigantic steps from what we had to what we have today in the monitoring of endangered species. As we have said, this enables us for decision making, also to create public policy towards conservation and to generate more and better alliances with instances as Huawei, UICN, AI for Climate, Sea Mines, and many others who will probably join to the success of conservation based on international standards, which is what we want for the conservation areas in Yucatan. This has also had socioeconomic impact as it has been contributed to creating talent locally and to better options of data analysis. We had 60 students from the UPY who helped with this project. And we were very happy to see how they can really tell their studies today in data analysis have an impact in nature. Today, our focus and our target is in the conservation and validating the algorithm for identifying individuals to creating sources of income for the people who are local to this community, and also sharing knowledge and tools. And also the next goal would be to escalate the potential of the cloud and also AI systems to be able to broaden the protection of biodiversity in our protected areas. And the next step will have a 30% of our state reserves with this technology. And finally, I would like to leave you with how we began talking about this from the beginning of our administration. And this is one of my favorite quotes, and it represents the project of Tech for Nature: to know for valuing and value to be able to conserve. So let's brag in a positive way our results and the richness of our biodiversity to be able to generate awareness and different alternatives, not only to get to know it, but also value it and generate conservation actions towards it. We have a couple of images that I want to show you because you probably will be very excited as I am, because we have lived this, being able to see and smell the tracks of jaguars, to be able to visualize the images of a species that it had been long. For example, Mr. Juan was saying it's been a long time since we've seen one here. This is a very nice image of the first jaguars that we saw in the camera. Here they are going around. Here we see turkeys, coatis. We also have a male jaguar. Here we have a video. These are turkeys that live there. See how beautiful this is.
De día, de noche,
in the morning, at night, on their own, or all together as a group. They are enjoying the conservation areas. And in the end, take a look at this surprise. There it is. We saw them many, many times. This is one of my favorite bits of the video. And those, we observed those before 10th of May, and they were smaller. We only saw the eyes, and here we were able to see that there are the two babies that are growing in this area. And this is one of my favorite videos, and I will be quiet so that you are able to hear. Oh, we didn't have any sound on, but it was beautiful because this was one of the white-leaf peccaries, and we did not have a register of them here. And when we saw the first, we saw, well, wow, yay! And then we heard these little noises, and we saw many. We saw babies, but in the end, you see that we have a female that is pregnant. These images are inspiring, and of course, we'll be very excited. We will keep working of the natural nature richness in Yucatan, and these enable us to be using wisely our natural resources. We want to have more and better actions that talk more than 1,000 words, and we will continue working on this, and we hope that you add your efforts for conservation and biodiversity in Yucatan and a greener and more sustainable world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to teacher Saida. A pleasure to hear all her, everything she had to say this morning, all the technology. I think it's a privilege that we are becoming a part of this change, this progress in technology, together with nature and everything that we're achieving and all these progresses through Tech for Nature, which is spectacular. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, for all of you that are seeing us over streaming, a big hug to all of you. Thank you for being connected today. Thank you for being with us, and not only to connect with us in terms of technology, but to connect really in order to generate change and make sure that this takes place on a daily basis from each of our sections. And this would not be possible without all the students and the teachers of the Polytechnic University of Yucatan, who through Huawei Cloud and its artificial intelligence work with different algorithms to identify species at the Dzilam State Nature Reserve. Later on, behind you, you'll be able to see on these screens some images that in my case, I had goosebumps when I was able to see them and listen to them, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. What these teachers and professors are doing is incredible, and today we'd like to recognize their effort and tell you that the country needs talent and needs dedication like the ones you have put into this project, the way you're doing this, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And what I'd like to do now is invite all these students. Adrián Carmona, we'll give a big round of applause at the end, but please come up to the stage. Adrián Carmona, Adriana Cu, Augusto Canul, Efraín Matu, Jorge Aguilar, Carla Valdés, Matthew Esquivel, Pedro Huicab, Andrés Martínez, Ángel Quintal, Carlos Tzul, Edwin Gomez. They are the students. Welcome all, and thank you for being here. And of course, the professors, these extraordinary professors that are on the line daily with the students to be this example that we need. They are a fundamental part in the development of this country. We need teachers that inspire, and you have been those teachers. Ángel Pech, Mario Campos, and Diego Campos. I think one of the teachers. Nope. All present. Okay. Well, one of the teachers could not make it, but a big hug for him as well. And I'm very happy to invite Samira Herrera. She is the Director of Communication and Public Relations of Huawei, Mexico, so that she can give them their recognition. Congratulations, Mexico, and thank you for all the efforts put into this project. Okay, on behalf of Huawei, I'd like to thank you and recognize all the effort that you put in. You are the human team that is hand in hand and behind the solutions of Huawei Cloud for all the analysis and processing of data to preserve this jaguar as a species that is on the brink of extinction. I'd also like this knowledge of artificial intelligence that you already have will serve for the state, for the economic development of this state, this great state that is Yucatan. Thank you for your dedication. Now you will receive a small present, a small token, as I invite Mario, one of the professors, who has a small speech and a few words for you. Thank you so much. I try to think about things that are more important that we can artificial intelligence instead of saving the planet, and I can't think of any other one. The work that these students have carried out helps us all. It helps us to conserve. They help us to conserve and to transform the data that usually is cold. When we're in front of a computer, we see information in Excel, we see pixels on a monitor, but throughout this project, those pixels transformed into people of a community, into live individuals that are interacting with us and that have a social responsibility to conserve the planet. As a professor, there is nothing more significant than to see the impact that these students are having in the world and in the community. And from an academic standpoint, to be able to see a little bit about everything that the planet has given us and the opportunity to conserve it is marvelous. To be able to extend this knowledge so that we have more species that can be saved is all the more gratifying. And in that sense, I'd like to give a large recognition to you for your efforts, and I'd like for you to be very proud about what you're doing. What you are doing has a great impact on conservation. Beyond the job, beyond the title, you're leaving something for the planet, and I congratulate you for that. Thank you very much. The recognitions are being given out. We all want one, of course, but we have to do things in order to warrant them. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Samira, for all the efforts that are being carried out for this project. Congratulations once again. It's incredible to see how the students today use time to make sure that things change in this world, and that you use, as the teacher was saying, intelligence to do great things, an invention that really changes what is happening with humanity. Once again, congratulations and thank you so much. Would you like a picture? If pictures are to be taken, please take advantage of this moment now, please. Very well. Thank you once again. Okay. Before you go to the coffee break, which is coming soon so that you can have some coffee and cookies, I'd like to invite you because even though I had the opportunity to see, to take that little tour of the reserve and know a little bit about the reserve, the images that we see on the screens that you have behind you, the audios that you can hear, that really gave me goosebumps, because even though we know that the jaguars are there, when we see these images that have been captured thanks to these cameras, because of all the efforts that are being carried out in Dzilam de Bravo by all of you, it's incredible So I'd like to invite you to go over to the screens to listen to the sounds of the birds so that you can see how the jaguars move in that area. Become excited as I am, and after that you can have a coffee, have some cookies, and we'll see you in a little bit later. People from the streaming, please don't leave us because we have a lot of surprises for you as well, and we'd like to continue talking about this from this forum in Mérida, Yucatan. So we'll see you in approximately 20 minutes after coffee. Thank you so much.
I'm Andres Neshudo, and I've been a tech YouTuber and content creator for the past 14 years. Today I'm really excited to show you how Huawei, Siemens, Tech for Nature and Yucatan's government are preserving the jaguars and saving the Yucatan's jungle. This is Dzilam de Bravo, a natural reserve preserved thanks to Huawei, Siemens and Yucatan government. Launched in May 2022, a project under the IUCN and Huawei Tech for Nature partnership is harnessing the power of digital technology to better protect this majestic animal and the ecosystems over the vast and sparsely populated area of Dzilam State Reserve. The project has deployed 60 audio-moth ecoacoustic monitoring devices developed by the NGO Rainforest Connection to record environmental sounds. For networked cameras, data is uploaded in real time for analysis on Huawei Cloud's platform.
It is highly important at Huawei to collaborate with the government, the civil society, the academy, and the community. We want to help building a sustainable world with Tech for Nature. That is part of our Tech for All project. That is one of the most important nature projects in the region, in which we contribute with our technologies, bringing it closer to environmental and impactful social projects.
Right now we are heading towards a site inside the coastal lagoon here in Dzilam de Bravo, or it's a site where birds and crocodiles and other species come to nest and to rest and to eat. So we're hoping to install some camera traps there and to see what's happening.
So if you can see, we are right now here in an ecosystem called mangrove. The color of the water is not because the water is dirty or something like that, it's the tannins of the same mangrove.
So this is a camera trap, one of the devices that we install here at the reserve. Camera traps activate with movement and heat, and they take a picture or a video depending on how you configure it. We will come here in a month or so to collect it and see what we got.
How did the collaboration with Huawei Tech for Nature, Siemens and Yucatan started?
We started speaking with Siemens and of course with Huawei about the opportunity to have Tech for All as an umbrella project and to have the pilot here in Yucatan to try to develop a project about how to bring technology inside the jungle and have all the data inside the jungle. We thank Huawei to being the one of the first ones to invest inside nature in Yucatan.
What do you think of this amazing project? I want to invite you to the live stream with Huawei and Tech for Nature that will take place on May 17th and May 18th. Hope to see you there.
Welcome everyone. I hope you're enjoying this marvelous forum on conservation of biodiversity here in Yucatan. And we're here with Zaida, Secretary of Sustainable Development of Yucatan. Is that correct? And welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. I wanted to first ask you, for this project, it's been running for a year already. What are the main difficulties that you've had in order to protect a species that is so special, such as the jaguar? That was one of the first topics that we started talking about, the importance of this project of Tech for Nature. And it's precisely... Sometimes we don't know the importance, we don't value, and we don't give the importance necessary, and of course there's no investment for conservation because we don't know about it. So to be able to use the best tool that we have today, which is technology, to be able to visualize the importance of the jaguar, and especially with data, with information, with pictures, with audio, to be able to identify the biodiversity for all the Yucatecans and the world. Yucatan has been a key piece. So the threats that we had, the difficulties that we had, were basically because we didn't understand why we had to carry out this project. Today we want Yucatan to hear this, and we want the world to hear this as well. The jaguar is the most iconic animal of this project, but I understand there are a whole other series of species that are important as well. Yes, that is true. There are other species. Of the first findings that we had for the Cuati, that gave us goosebumps, were the first registers of pecaries, white-lipped peccaries, that we didn't have registered in the state of Yucatan, and that we saw them on camera. On the first row, the peccaries right in front of the cameras with the sound and everything, and that allowed us, of course, not only to have the first registration of peccaries in the state, but also a lot of them very healthy, that were that entice us to keep working with other species. We also have falcons, the peregrine falcon, because there's other reptiles, amphibians, but the peccary was one of those that gave us the most excitement. Why is it so important to have these ecosystems? What does this mean for the people of Yucatan? For us here in Yucatan, the state where we are today is a state that is under development. I hope that you get to know Yucatan as a safe state, a state that is beautiful, but it's a state that is growing. And because we are growing, we want to grow in an orderly way, intelligent way, sustainable way, and to be able to dimension the importance of our natural resources, to determine that conservation of our resources and protected areas has to be a priority in order to be sustainable for the state, and that is key. And we are betting on this, on projects such as this one, that allow us to enter the economic and social development, as well as environmental and sustainable development of the state. And to finalize, what balance do we have after this first year with the project? Well, I would say that the balance is very positive, that there is no balance, that this is very unbalanced. The rules that we've had are very positive, but also it commits us to continue progressing. And I say that what we take away right now is the commitment to be able to escalate this to other natural areas that are protected and throughout the estate as a whole. Thank you very much for being here with us, and we'll see you again in the future. Continue with the transmission because we have more surprises for you. Thank you so much. We will continue with Juan Castillo. If you could please join us. Mr. Juan Castillo. How are you doing today? I'm doing well, because this is not my area. Juan Castillo is a part of the community of Dzilam. What has been your role in this project? Have you been helping the teams to enter the area? Yes, I've been helping them. I've been there as a guide. I live in that area. I have a lot of years living there, and I was always concerned. It's been 10 years that I've been searching for this, what we have right now, and that we hope that will continue to be an effort to conserve it. If you can see the images, there's a jaguar that is old, that has a lot of years there. And I even thought that it had even been hunted already. And that hurts. And what do you expect from the jaguar as an animal from the community? For us, it represents the state of Yucatan. It represents the Mayans. And in reality, it thrills me, well, it irritates me to see that they're hunting them, and I'd like to have that avoided. I've been fighting for 48 years with poachers and people that cut trees. Today, I'm glad to see this team and we have the support necessary to change all that. Why is a project like this as important? How has the public received it? At the beginning, they did not know about this. Now that they know, there's an average, approximately 70% of them that are in agreement with this, between students, the teachers, the people that lives in that area. This, they enjoy it very much. We know this. There's a white bird that we enjoy seeing very much. According to the Aztec community or the Mayan community, it was a part of them. And we are not direct descendants per se. My family, they are descendants from the Cisais. And I hope that people studying that are involved in this will continue working and putting a lot of effort into this. Have you been able to see a jaguar in the zone? Yes, I've seen them quite often. It is a noble animal. It is an animal that does not attack for the fact of attacking. I had cows in that area, and not one of them was attacked by a jaguar. We are invading their habitat, and we want to avoid that. Juanito, the last time we went into the reserve of Dzilam, remember we saw a paw print, and it seemed as though the jaguar had been there a minute before us. Like when you leave the beach, for example, and that you step and you leave that print. Do you remember that? Can you tell them about that? The jaguar may be observing close by and watching the human beings that are walking by. I've had encounters with several of them. I don't like to talk about this because unfortunately they think that we are inventing this stuff. But today we see people as her, as the rest of them, that say, yes, that is true. We can see them. Well, thank you very much for everything that you've shared with us. The idea would be to take care of the pups, the kittens, to control the growth of the jaguar. And now I see, when I had started, I could only see footprints or paw prints of one or two. Now you can see prints very frequently. We have 5 individuals, jaguar individuals identified, 2 males, 1 female, and 2 that we still don't know, but we know that there are 5 in the area. And those are the ones that we are aware of. Tell us about one of those experiences. We believe in you. We've seen the prints. We know that they exist. The jaguar, for me, is like a small kitten, because I've had the opportunity from here to the Lord to see him or see them, and they play like a kitten. They jump around. They are playful. And we think that that is not true, but it is. Then you're going to be able to tell us later on. You'll be able to share a lot of more stories with us. There's one where we left the door open at home. They come into the house and they've slept there. They will leave their scat. They will leave the area. They are animals that are not fierce. They are calm, and I'm very happy to see these things coming up, and I enjoy this project a lot. Thank you so much for being a part of this project in particular. Well, so, I hope God gives me the opportunity to continue collaborating with you. Thank you so much for being with us and for sharing with us today what you've lived through. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you to all of you involved in this project. Thank you, Mr. Juan. Okay, to finalize, we have Mario Alejandro Campos Soberanes. He is a researcher for UPI, the Polytechnic University of Yucatan. That is correct. First of all, what is the role that the UPY has in this project? In this case, we are the consultants of artificial intelligence and technology. We have college degrees that are aimed at artificial intelligence and others. I'm currently working with the students that are coming out of data engineering, so that we are creating the algorithms to be able to recognize the images and to be able to see whether we're seeing a jaguar, a peccary, a mountain turkey. So how do you train the algorithm to be able to understand whether it's a jaguar, whether it's a peccary or another animal? It's very complex. We use a neural network, which simulates the way the brain works, but through a computer mathematically, and it's convolutional. The convolutional simulates what the human eye sees. So through a lot of repetitions, it explains to the algorithm, this is an example of a jaguar, of a peccary. So it starts to learn about this when it sees these types of fur, these types of spots, and it knows that it's a jaguar or a peccary. And how are the students living this project? It's been very intense because we had the opportunity, for example, to go to the field, and it's a different experience. It's not the same thing to have the data in the computer to see the images and put them into the algorithm than to be where the jaguars are, where the peccaries are, to understand the process of having an image in the computer. So it's been very enriching from different perspectives to see how we can get to that point. For the students as well, I believe, when you're in college, and there are so many subjects that are all theoretical, to be able to be in this type of project so direct that you can feel it, you can touch it and see the impact that it's having in the local community, and that it'll be incredible for them. Yes, exactly. When we're with the artificial intelligence, we're applying it, but this isn't often when we're being formed. So I've been through this. Students ask me, why are we working on this? Why are we doing this? And these are and with this project in particular, we're showing the results that we can obtain. What type of technologies are being applied to this project? We're working very much with open source technologies. We're working in particular naturally with the Huawei cloud that is also providing the infrastructure for the algorithms. And we also have technologies that have to do with the processing of images, TensorFlow, etc., which are technologies that are specific so that we can go into these neuronal systems so that they can recognize the individuals. And how do you see the future of this project? At the Yucatan level, is it a pioneering project that could perhaps be exported to other places? From the academic standpoint, I'm very excited. I was exploring about who had done this in other parts of the world, and there's no one. Last year, the way that leopards were being recognized was still manual, and you could see this is this type of leopard. So I think this can have an impact, a global impact, and this could be extended to Latin America at the very least. So we're going to see a lot of continuity on this, and because of the results that we've obtained, which are very of high impact, the metrics are very good, higher than we expected. I think this will have an important continuity in Yucatan, and I think that this can provide to the world as well. So thank you, Mario Alejandro, for your support in this project and for sharing with us and the spectators your experience. And now let's talk with Samira Herrera, who's the Director of Communication. Samira, thank you again for being here with us. How do you see this activity today, which is a celebration of everything we've lived? It's incredible. I've had the opportunity to be at the reserve in several occasions. As Teacher Saida was saying, to be able to be in that area, walking for hours, to be looking at those paw prints, asking the biologist, what is this about? What is this about? It's incredible, really. Until you're there, you really acknowledge what you're going through. I have not been able to see any jaguars. I'd like to see them. I haven't been lucky in that sense. I hope I get the chance to see one. It's been an incredible journey. Yesterday we were at the reserve. We took a great amount of the team that is today. We took the friends from press. They lived an experience that was incredible, to be involved with nature, and that renews you. It renews your purpose that we're collaborating with our bit of sand to make this planet something better. And I think that is something that fulfills all of our souls. We were also there visiting the mangrove section, and it was incredible to see a lot of that, to be able to hear about this project from a theoretical standpoint, to see what is happening physically, how the animals are monitored is incredible. The life that you can see that taking place in that area, it's totally peaceful. What is the equipment? We were showing the cameras that were being used for the pictures, for the audios, and how the team of biologists, the specialized team, carries out all these activities and making sure that you can have the sensitivity both for the eyes and for the ears to see what nature is showing you. That is impressive, because you can have a trap camera at a certain section, but when the team comes back a month later, there's a traceability where you can see, okay, now let's turn the camera this way because this is where the root is, so, and that is created by the fauna, and we have to follow that trajectory. So to develop that sense, that perspective for eyes, for sight and sound, that is something that the team has, and that with the equipment they've developed and with the experts here, it's the best way to do it, and they make this live, something that you can actually live. Well, thank you for sharing with us. And now we'd like to speak to Joaquin Saldaña, who's the Director of Marketing and Strategy for Huawei, so that he can tell us, thank you for being here. Thank you for the invitation. We've had already several people telling us about your experiences with this project. We'd like to know a little bit about how you see it in particular. Since it started now until we have this celebration after a year, it's very nice for all of us. When you're in a big company, a big corporation, there are a lot of big initiatives, and as a citizen, sometimes you hear about the United Nations and great words that are spoken, and you become excited, and to start a project with these expectations, to be able to work in a specific community with the support from a specific government, with technology that is mature to an extent, in the case of audio recognition, to incorporate new things such as the trap cameras processed with artificial intelligence. We're going to add students to this, where we're going to teach them how to use the technology so that they can provide to this project, and then you see all the different parts working together. That is the nicest thing about this, to go from those large initiatives to something very concrete that is funded by us, yes, and the technology is by us, yes, but the most important thing is the entire environment that we're creating with all this. Everything implicated, involved in the project, the impact on the communities, and this is something very important, very interesting, because we have to talk about team building. How do we go about doing that? We don't know, but we've been doing it step by step, working with everything. We're working with the equipment, with the students, with the professors. So we're going to continue with the event right now. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on this. Thank you very much for being here. Let's move forward. Thank you so much, and let's continue now with Alfaro. Thank you for seeing the live stream. We'll continue. Hi. I hope you had a good time at this coffee break. I'd like to invite you to take your seats again so that we can continue with these fabulous videos and the chats and everything that we still have pending to see today. Thank you for seeing us on the streaming. Thank you for being here with us. We have still a lot of surprises to share with you, so thank you for continuing to be there. I'm waiting for everyone to come back so that we don't miss anything of what continues. We're starting right now in 1 minute. 1 minute to take your seats, please. I hope you enjoyed your coffee, the water. It's very warm outside. It's cooler in here with the air conditioning. Thank you for being here with us.
Pues bueno, bienvenidos, bienvenidas a todos nuevamente. Yo soy Paulina Greenham. Para mí
Thank
es un
you once
placer
again for
seguir con
being here.
ustedes
I'm
esta
Paulina
mañana.
Greenham.
A nombre
Thank
de
you for
todos los que
being
hacen
with us
posible
here
este
today.
evento de Tech
Thank
for
you
Nature.
to all of
Es
you who
espectacular
make
porque estamos
this
aprendiendo
possible
juntos.
today.
Y
What we're learning
hoy
today is
quiero
spectacular.
decirles que
And
pongan
today I'd like
mucha
to tell you to
atención
please pay
porque
attention
vamos a ver un
because we're going to
documental
see a documentary
espectacular.
that is
Un documental
spectacular.
que habla y nos
A
muestra el
documentary that
trabajo
shows
de
us
todos los
the activities
involucrados
of all of
y me
those
encantaría que
involved.
pudieran pasar
And I'd
algunos
love
de
to
los
be able
involucrados
to
para hablar
have
sobre
some
este
of those
documental
involved to come
después
up here
de que
to talk
podamos
about
ver
the
las
documentary
imágenes. Así
after
es
we
que
see the
veamos
images.
con atención esto.
So
Todos los que
let's
están
see
también
this
en su casa, en
with
su oficina,
attention.
no se
All of
pierdan
you
ningún
that are at
detalle.
home, that are
Vamos a
at
ver.
your offices, don't miss any details.
Todo esto era tierra del jaguar. Pues a mí me encanta. Desde que era yo niño me gustaba saber que es parte nuestra. Es más, a veces causo risa lo que digo. Digo, el día que yo me muera me gustaría ser un jaguar. El ser humano es el principal depredador que existe. El ser humano no se concientiza, olvídense.
Por ejemplo, nosotros estábamos viéndonos hace rato, vimos las fotos del jaguar, que en verdad te deja con la cara así de ¡wow! ¿Cuáles son las amenazas para la biodiversidad y los jaguares? La ignorancia de no saber cómo manejarlos.
Está la caza, está la franja ganadera, está la deforestación. De todas las amenazas en esta zona, sí que ponen en jaque la resiliencia y la sostenibilidad del ambiente en el tiempo.
Aquí es la primera cámara del sistema que tenemos acá. Tiene 219 videos.
Instalamos cámaras, instalamos audiomos, se dejan sin que nadie entre para no perturbar la zona durante ese tiempo y los animales puedan pasar. 40 días después regresamos, sacamos tarjetas SD que están adentro de las cámaras que ya tendrán 3.000, 5.000 imágenes y videos. Las tarjetas SD de las cámaras también llegan a Mérida, se pasan a un disco duro, la UPI las recibe y se suben a la Huawei Cloud, donde ahí ellos las están procesando. Estas cámaras trampa se activan con el movimiento y a veces el movimiento es una rama moviéndose con el viento. Tenemos teras y teras de información que si una máquina puede procesarla y decirnos qué está pasando, es mucho más fácil.
Necesitamos subir de una plataforma de Big Data porque es un volumen de información grande, procesarlo a alta velocidad y con inteligencia artificial entonces sí empezar a entender las imágenes y poder detectar los animales que nos interesan.
Y estos son los caminos que usan los jaguares. Está allí. Entonces esta cámara registró todo lo que salió de aquí, de atrás, pegado allá, todo lo que sale de allá y todo lo que viene de esta zona del camino del cenote, más todo lo que cruza. Entonces debe tener algunos miles de fotos.
Lo primero que descubrimos es que era muy difícil convencer a alguien en invertir en la conservación.
Conocer es algo sumamente valioso y medir, sacar información, lo que hacemos ahora con monitoreo, por ejemplo, son cosas que si no lo estamos viendo no sabemos que está allá.
La gente no se entera que hay esos animales, no nos brindan la ayuda.
La siguiente década es un tiempo decisivo. Creo que aún estamos a tiempo. El tiempo cada vez es más corto, pero aún estamos a tiempo.
Y me gustaría que hubiera una manera de cuidarlo, porque el día de mañana solo en los libros se va a ver.
Me gustaría que en 30, 50 años pueda seguir existiendo la selva que conocemos y que efectivamente tengamos estos santuarios en donde la vida sigue existiendo, sigue floreciendo, sigue evolucionando. Sigo siendo un poco optimista, ¿no? Pensando que sí se puede.
Y las imágenes, como les decía hace rato,
And the images,
por más
as
que
I
lo
was
hayamos
saying a
vivido
few
un
minutes
momento o no hayan tenido
before,
la posibilidad de estar ahí todavía,
if you
pero
have not
estas
had the
imágenes
opportunity to be there,
nos hacen volvernos
these
a
images
emocionar con todo lo que están
excite us
haciendo, y es
once
por
again
eso
with
que me
everything that's
encantaría
being done.
darles la
And that's why I'd
bienvenida,
like to welcome
invitar
and
a
invite
4 de las personas
4 of the
responsables de
people
todo lo que está
responsible of
sucediendo con
everything
este
that is
proyecto para
happening
que
with this
suban con
project so that
nosotros.
they can come
Y
up
antes,
here
Samira,
on
para
the
que estés
stage with
aquí
us. And
con
Samira,
ellos
I'd
y
also
darles
like to
la
invite you
bienvenida
to
como
come
se
here
merecen.
so that
Están
they
con
can be
nosotros
welcomed as
4
they
personas de la
deserve. We have 4
comunidad:
people from the
Juan
community.
Castillo,
Juan Castillo,
Benjamín Campos,
Benjamín Campos,
Darwin Sosa,
Darwin
Javier
Sosa,
Nadal, que hoy vienen
Javier Nadal,
acompañados de sus
that
familias,
today
de sus
come with their
nietos.
families, with their grandchildren.
Bienvenidos todos y
Welcome
todas a
all
este
of you
lugar y
for
gracias
being
por todo
here.
el
Thank
trabajo
you for
tan
all the
hermoso que
work
están
that you've
haciendo.
put into this.
Samira.
Samira, the floor is yours.
¿Me escucha? ¿Qué puedo decirles?
What
He
can I
conocido
tell
a
you?
estas personas
I've met these
en
people
repetidas
in
ocasiones que he
several
venido
occasions that
a
I've
la
been here
reserva.
that I've been to the
La
reserve.
comunidad es
The
algo que
community
nos
is
llena
something
el
that
alma,
fills
sin
our
duda.
souls.
Estar
There's
con
no
ustedes
doubt
ha sido
about
un
that. Being
aprendizaje,
with you has been
saber
a
que
learning
están tan
experience. To
involucrados
see
con
that
este
you're so
proyecto,
involved with
de
this
verdad es
project
algo que
is
para
really
Huawei, para
something
el
that for
propio
Huawei,
gobierno,
for the
para
government
IUCN,
itself, for
para todos los
IUCN,
involucrados,
for all of those
sin duda es
involved,
algo
IUCN,
llena,
all of
porque
those
como lo
involved is
mencionábamos
something
hace
that
rato,
fulfills us,
desde
because
este
as we were
lado,
saying before,
estamos poniendo
on
este
this
granito
side
de
we are
arena
putting our grain of
para
sand
preservar este
to
mundo y
preserve
dejar
this
algo
world
mejor
and to leave
a nuevas
something better for the new
Pero a mí me
generations.
gustaría,
But
don Benja, que nos cuente un
Don
poquito de lo que
Benjamin,
ha
I would
sido
like to
esta
ask you
experiencia
to tell us a little bit
formando
about
parte
your
de este gran
experience
proyecto que es Tech for
being
Nature,
part of
pero
this
desde ese
project,
lado
Tech for
humano
Nature, but
que es
from
la
the
comunidad de
human
Dzilam de
side,
Bravo.
the community of Dzilam de Bravo.
Pues la verdad ha sido gratificante.
It's been
en todos
very
los
gratifying
aspectos,
in all
porque
aspects
teníamos
because
la ilusión,
we
como
had
Juanito,
the illusion
de ver crecer este
of
proyecto
seeing this
desde el
project
momento
grow
que llegó.
from the moment it
Lo
arrived.
acogimos y la
We
verdad
embraced it,
nos han llenado de
and
orgullo
you
de
have
las
fulfilled us with pride to see the pictures, to see the videos, to see that we have people that support us. As the case of Huawei, I met him yesterday. I had a great time with him. I enjoyed this very much to see that he's a beautiful person.
Juanito, ¿quieres agregar algo?
Juanito, would you like to add anything? No.
Darwin, ¿alguien más que nos
Darwin,
quiera agregar
anyone
algo,
else that
que
would
quiera
like to add
compartir
anything, that would
con
like
sus
to
familias,
share
incluso
with
lo que
your
ha sido para
families what
ustedes
it's been for you,
esta experiencia
this
y el que
experience,
estemos
and
aportando
that we are
también todos los
providing also
involucrados
for
algo
all of
hacia
those
su
involved,
comunidad? ¿Qué ha
something for you,
significado
community.
esto para
What has
ustedes?
this meant for you?
Que no le dé pena.
Don't be shy.
La verdad, como usted bien dice,
Really, as you say, what has it given us? It has given us something incredible that motivates us more to continue. I don't want to brag about this. I've been 32 years involved as a ranger, and it's a privilege to be here and to see everything that is happening in our reserve. And really, I would like for everyone to see, that has the opportunity to see and touch this. It's important to be serious about this and to continue with this enthusiasm that motivates us to continue being better, to conserve our ecological reserve. To see all this, the animals, the jaguar that is on the brink of extinction, whether there are a lot or a few, we have to continue protecting them. It's a privilege to be here and to see new faces that will continue conserving our planet, which is a worry for entire humanity. Thank you so much.
Para concluir.
Would you like to
Me ha
add
tocado ir
something?
contigo a la reserva
I've
y
been
sin
with you
duda
to the
las
reserve,
anécdotas que nos
the
cuentas,
anecdotes
todas
that you
esas
tell us
vivencias,
about and all those
seguro
things that
quieren
you've
escuchar.
lived through. Would you like to tell us about that? Good morning. Pride and pleasure, it leaves you a knot in your throat with the excitement of seeing everybody involved in this project. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the community into account. Sometimes it's very important to interact in order to put the cameras out, etc. Juan, it's great to work with him. The entire team, it feels great. There's a feeling that you can feel when participating in these types of projects. There's a nervousness, but it's very gratifying, and it feels very good to be involved in this type of projects. And for us, it is we feel that we are a part of that community. We are a part of that community of Dzilam de Bravo. We feel that we are a part of the family. But please tell us a little bit. Okay. As I said a while ago, tears take the best of me here. Finally, I'm seeing, if you see a jaguar, an old jaguar, old as me, there are youngsters, young people that are young pups. We will see new kittens from the jaguars. And there are times when I feel that my body is not responding as it should. I'm 68 years old, very young, but no, I don't think that. I don't think so. And yes, since I was a child, it was my illusion to conserve this area. You can see a boy that came with me, and I think about tomorrow, what will be left for them? Only pictures? Only recordings? Where did the jaguar end? Where did the forest end? Of the 100% of the forest that used to exist when I was growing up, there's only a 10% left. 90% has already extinguished. What he was saying is very true. When I met Chacate, I was looking for people to see how to protect that section of land that I have over there. And he used to tell me, go to Seduma at that time. And that's where I started with my peregrination. 8 years went by, nothing, until you got involved about a year ago. And now I'm seeing that things are moving along. My family here present today, maybe they will be able to see the end. But thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to you that are coming here to support. And thank you to you and to the government of the state. Thank you so much. A big applause for the community of Dzilam de Bravo. Without them, this would not be taking place. Huawei plays an important role. The government of Yucatan, Rainforest Connection, IUCN, Sea Mines, they all play an important role. But without you, without that love with which you carry us forward, this would not be possible. Thank you so much. And once again, a big round of applause for all of them. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And thank you for opening the doors to your community. You do this so well. Thank you for all the spectacular welcomings that we have. Your family is so proud of you. How incredible. What a gift. Pictures. Pictures, please.
están haciendo historia.
You
Qué
are
bonito.
making history
Con sus familias.
with your families.
Qué gran regalo para ellos y para
What a
ustedes
great
también,
gift for
y para
them and for
nosotros.
you
Gracias
and
por
for
lo
us
que
as
hacen.
well. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Thank you once again.
Y después de haber vivido esto tan
So after
conmovedor, tan
we've lived through this
emocionante, que nos llena a todos de ganas de
emotional
seguir
section
haciendo las
that
cosas mejor,
energizes us to continue moving forward for them, for us, for the future generations, for those of us that are here. This becomes very emotional, and you're an inspiration and motivation to do things differently. So I hope that all this and all of us that are here, those that are seeing us, I hope we talk a lot about this, that we move this information forward, that we can brag about this worldwide, to share what is happening in Dzilam de Bravo. They deserve to be talked about as many times as possible, and that many more people can see and know about this in live. Now it's a pleasure for me to share 5 people. We're going to have a panel that is enriching for everyone. I gladly invite Regina Cervera from Sea Mines. How happy to have you here today. Alfonso Jimenez from Huawei Cloud. Alfonso, Huawei Cloud, here he comes. Welcome as well. Nadine Salim from IUCN. Thank you for being here once again, for being in this panel. And Fabián Romo from the UNAM, National University of Mexico, to be a part of this session that will be moderated by Ernesto Piedras. A pleasure to have you here as well. He is the director and founder of the think tank, the Competitive Intelligence Unit, who is specialized in telecommunications and digital life. Welcome, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Paulina. It's always a pleasure to see you through the screens or in person. Thank you, Huawei. I am very surprised. I'm always very impressed with technological advances. I see when technology moves 1 millimeter and I feel moved. And I will tell you why in a minute. I don't know why we think that if we talk about technology and biodiversity, they are opposed. Of course, there are things to pay attention to, but it gives us many opportunities. Paulina said something. You are making history. She just stole the words from my mouth. What's history? For some people, it is the narrative of human beings. Then it is the steps that takes us to evolution. SAIDA, our secretary said, is a collective effort. It's academy, it's government, it's industry, it's community, they're companies. And it is not very common, and this is the first lesson, to see collective effort towards a common goal. And again, I'm so happy to see that it is good to see that it is towards nature and biodiversity. Now, we need to recognize and acknowledge that never in the history of humankind we have experienced a continuous and impressive technological advances. Like before, we used to see developments to come every so many years, like every decade, and now we see it constantly. Every second we have technological changes. And we will continue living, and sometimes our worry should be how we are going to improve, how we are going to be better elements and part of an ecosystem and the nature that we are in. I was talking to one of my friends, and they said if we had to summarize this exercise, it could be called digital transformation for biodiversity. Sometimes digital transformation seems rhetorical, and we don't know what that is about. And this is an excellent, beautiful example of digital transformation applied to the subjects that we're talking about today. So many of you said these efforts began 1 year ago. Where are we going to be next year? This is something I like a lot. I'm going to talk in first person. What we are doing, there is continuity in our efforts. We know that if something has been done right, we need to continue with that and it needs to evolve. So I'm really intrigued to know where we're going to be in 1, 3, 20 years. My imagination is not enough. When they have technology forecasts, my imagination is not enough. 3 years, I can imagine. 5, I need to do some efforts, but after that, I'm not able to do more. But that is good. And something else that is important that I was talking with my colleague here, many efforts come from communities. Public officials are not the only responsible people, but they do have responsibility that we grant them. Again, it looks rhetorical, but political participation is important, but community participation, that's something really important, and the most important probably. Something else I would like to highlight. I'm passionate about seeing the democratic character that current technologies have. I'm not calling them new technologies. Internet was the 30th anniversary yesterday, but mobile technologies many decades ago. But if we look through the stats, today in all homes in the country or all homes in this state, there are mobile phones. Even in rural communities, of course not in the natural reserve, but these technologies, current technologies, have a democratic flavor to it, and that gives us hope and positive expectations. We have the example of the pandemic, that I cannot say that it's gone forever. We still have leftovers, but it's the first global crisis that we have experienced being connected, hyper-connected. And it was an experience to be able to keep working, studying, entertaining. And today, part of this effort is how we can guarantee and ensure that we all enjoy these benefits that are written in our Mexican rights. We have the efforts, but the results are here. And I'm very emotional and excited to hear this. But let me repeat, if you allow me. We have Regina Cervera from Siemens, Alfonso Jimenez, a great expert, strategic market from Huawei Latam in the cloud area, Nadine Selim. We are very happy to have you here from IUCN. Welcome to Mexico again. And Fabián Romo from our Maximum Home of Studies, UNAM. So let me begin with you, Fabián, and ask you, what are your perspective? What is your perspective, and what do you think will happen? Because when we talk about IT, we talk about convergence, and not the convergence of bits and bytes, but convergence of technology and biodiversity. Hello. Good morning. As you said, we are being witnesses of dramatic and accelerated change, and it is hard to understand if we don't have enough tools to be able to create symbiosis. And that's why I celebrate these initiatives like the one that we are having with Huawei. Using these technology advances where we have AI, that everyone is talking about these, and we have different instances, and we are developing initiatives with AI. What wouldn't be best that using these for conserving nature, conserving water? Those are some examples where we are using this kind of technology in combination with others, like probably big data that you have heard about, Internet of Things, this hyperconnection, everything is connected now. I can still remember, and that talks about my age. But let's not talk about sad things. When we used to connect to the internet with a computer, with a modem, and we had some people who could be connected. And now the hard thing is to think who is not connected. We don't buy a phone not to be connected or a computer not to be connected. And this has allowed to gather this enormous amount of information. And now we have all the data, all the information that is collected from the forest and everywhere. The key is how we use all of this data to improve our lives, lives of others who are around us and share the planet with us in a more efficient way. And this is what we see in many initiatives, like the one best use of water resources, knowing the quality of water, where are the deposits, how is it being used. And technology is being used, this improving traffic conditions to be able to pollute less, improving the health of people through devices. For example, to know if someone is having a crisis through diabetes, for example. So IT, just to summarize, allows us to get data in all senses. AI helps us analyze precisely and more accurately of this data to be able to improve our decision-making process and to improve conditions in all of these verticals: health, education, nourishing, protecting the environment, etc. And it's exciting to see each technological change. But it's not enough to say, oh yes, how cool is your tablet, or how cool is your smartwatch, or I see videos in an app. But how that helps me in anything that I do professionally to be able to be a better human being, and not technology itself, but to be more aware and to be solidary about our environment. A cliché that I don't agree with is information is power. But you just took that to another level. And Saida said something similar, to said generate data, but also classify them, our recovery capacity. And Saida said, and using them, we don't want to be a storage for numbers. We want to use the information to convert them in useful data. For example, the pandemic gave us many, many lessons. And this exercise has brought us to different dimensions. Regina, I would like to ask you, what is the main influence that these current technologies have brought, specifically in terms of nature conservation? Thank you for the question, and also building in what they already mentioned. It is the first time that in this area we have tangible evidence and real evidence that has given us information that we knew these species were there, but we haven't been able to prove this. And we were not able to communicate this as we are doing it now with evidence data real
Esto también nos ha
evidence.
permitido pensar en cómo hacer los datos más
This has
transparentes,
allowed
más
us to think
escalables,
how we
para
can
soluciones cada vez más efectivas.
use data and
¿cierto?
make it
Tener los
to
datos físicos,
able to
tenerlos en
escalate these, to
imágenes,
have
los audios, poder
images, to
lanzar estas
have
plataformas para
audios, to be
catalizar
able
acciones
to have
colectivas de
platforms to
conservación,
catalyze
en donde el
collective
gobierno,
efforts
sociedad
where
civil,
government,
academia,
civil
podamos colaborar en
society,
conjunto
academy, we are
para
able to
poder,
work together
interactuar con estos datos.
to
Saida
interact with these
presentó
data.
estas plataformas que ya también
Saida
la gente
showed
puede
us these
acceder.
platforms
Podemos
where people
interactuar,
can join,
explorarlos,
we can
jugar con
interact,
ellos,
explore,
aprender de
play
ellos
around,
como comunidad de forma
learn as a
colectiva.
community.
Nos permite seguir aprendiendo entre
And
todos,
this allows
¿cierto?
us
Algo
to
que nos ha
learn
encantado de este
together, and
proyecto
something
de
that we
Tech for
love
Nature
about
México
this
particularmente
project, Tech for
son
Nature,
estas alianzas en donde
are
cada
these
institución pone una
synergies
parte
and alliances with
fundamental para
each
poder
part
llegar a lo que estamos
brings
hoy en
something to
día,
the table
a
that is
este año
fundamental,
de esfuerzo.
and
Y
that
por
takes us
primera vez
this
presentarles a todos ustedes
take
estos
us here
resultados
to
que
this year to
que
be
nos
able to
encantan y que
present
nos
to
llenan
you
de
this year of
esperanza por la
results.
zona, para poder seguir
And this
trabajando por
makes us
personas
be
como Don Juanito,
hopeful
¿no? que
and
nos
to
acaba
keep
de
working for
presentar,
people
de
like
contar
Don
lo que significa
Juanito,
para
who
él,
just
para él todo
told
esto.
us what this means to him.
Y bueno, si bien algo que hemos aprendido mucho es que la
And
tecnología
something
sola
that we have learned is that
no nos va a
technology
resolver el problema. Es
alone
un
will not
instrumento,
solve. It
es
is an
percibido
instrument.
como un cambiador de las reglas del juego ya, ¿no? Es algo
We
que nos
perceive it
da,
as
nos va,
a
si lo
game
utilizamos de forma
changer. It
correcta, nos va
changes
a
the
llevar
rules, that if we
a
use it
soluciones
wisely,
cada
it will
vez
take
más
us
escalables, más
to
efectivas,
solve
pero por
problems
sí
and to be
sola
able to
no.
escalate
Necesitamos de la
solutions, but
gente,
not
necesitamos
itself.
de
We
todo
need
este lado
people.
humano
We need the
que trae
human
también Tech for
side
Nature, de estas
that Tech for
colaboraciones, de
Nature
seguir
brings,
fortaleciendo
collaborations to
capacidades,
be
sobre
able
todo.
to strengthen
América Latina tiene una gran
capacities.
oportunidad
Latin
que
America
aprovechar,
has a great
porque las
opportunity to
tecnologías
take advantage
existen,
because
¿no?
technology is
no
there.
son nuevas, ya están,
They're
y
not
van a
completely
seguir
new,
creciendo, y van
and
a
they
seguir
will
avanzando
continue
y
to grow
desarrollándose,
and
y
to
tenemos que estar
develop,
allá.
but we need to
Tenemos
be
que estar
there.
allá para lo que importa, que
We need to
aquí
be
es
there
para
for things
preservar,
that
para
matter.
conservar y
Here is
proteger
to
nuestra
preserve and
biodiversidad.
conserve biodiversity,
Y América Latina tiene
and Latin America
una responsabilidad enorme,
has
¿no?
great
Albergamos el 40%
responsibility.
de la biodiversidad
We
del
host
mundo.
40% of the
Tenemos que liderar
biodiversity
en
of
este
the world.
campo, y
We
es
need
algo
to
que
be
también con Tech for
leaders
Nature
here.
hemos aprendido.
And we have
Que se
learned
puede,
this with Tech for Nature,
sí
that we
tenemos
can
también
do
a las
it
personas
if we
correctas,
have the
¿no? en la
right
mesa,
people
es decir,
on
a
the
la academia,
table,
al gobierno,
in
a
the
la sociedad
academy, the
civil,
government, civil
y
society,
seguimos también fortaleciendo las
and that we
capacidades
keep
y alianzas en
strengthening
la región para poder
capacities and
liderar en
alliances
esta,
in the
en esta
region
protección
so that we are
ya
able
nos
to
urge.
lead,
Estamos enfrentando
because
pérdida de
it is
biodiversidad
urgent.
sin
We are
precedentes
facing
a nivel mundial,
biodiversity
y
loss
América Latina no se
worldwide,
está quedando atrás,
and
México
Latin
no se queda
America is
atrás, y
not
a nivel
behind,
local,
Mexico is
las
not
personas
behind,
que
and
viven
locally
lo
people
pueden
who
ver.
live.
Don Juanito lo ha visto
Don
de
Juanito
primera
have
mano en
seen
Dzilam,
this
y lo hemos visto
firsthand in
cada vez que
Dzilam,
vamos.
and we have seen
Entonces,
this every time we
aprender
go.
todo lo que podemos lograr
So to
aprovechando las
learn
herramientas
everything
con una alianza,
we
con
can,
alianzas
using
tan
the
fuertes.
tools and having
Creo que-
strong
creo que ha sido
alliances,
lo más lindo que
I
hemos
think this
sacado
has
de
been
este
the
año.
best part that we have
Regina, me quedo
experienced
mucho
this
con
year.
muchos comentarios tuyos,
Regina,
pero me
I have many comments to keep
impacta
with
mucho
me, but the comment
la
that you
reflexión que
mentioned,
haces sobre
the
la
reflection
tecnología. A veces
about
hablamos de la
technology,
tecnología como
sometimes
si
we
fuera
talk about
un ente
technology
autónomo,
as if it were
y la evolución
autonomous,
tecnológica la
and
provocamos
technological
nosotros. Empresas
evolution
como Huawei
is created by
invierten,
companies such as
tienen el
Huawei. They
expertise y
invest, they have the
desarrollan la
expertise and
tecnología.
develop
Pero recojo
technology.
también tu comentario.
But I
Los
gather
responsables
your
somos los
comment,
seres
but we are
humanos.
responsible.
La
Human
tecnología
beings
se
are
puede usar
responsible.
y se ha usado para muy malos
Technology
fines.
has
Ha habido
also been
atentados
used
terribles
badly
en donde se culpa la tecnología
with bad
porque se
results,
detonan
and they blame
explosivos
technology.
con
For example,
dispositivos
when we
celulares,
have
pero no es la
explosives,
tecnología.
but it's not
Tecnología salva
technology.
vidas, permite
Technology
operaciones
saves lives.
quirúrgicas,
It
etcétera.
allows
Entonces,
for
qué
surgical
bueno que nos pongas sobre
interventions,
la mano
but
sobre la
it is
mesa
important
esta
that you bring this to the
responsabilidad como
table,
seres humanos,
responsibility and
pero
accountability
ya
as human
entonces el
beings.
juego no solo es de dos,
So
no
the
solo es
game is not
tecnología
only
y
two
naturaleza, digo tecnología y ser
two
humano.
entities,
Ya nos lo
humankind
estamos llevando
and
a la otra
technology,
dimensión de la
but we are
naturaleza,
taking
porque
this to the
nosotros
third
somos
dimension,
parte
which
de
could
ella,
be nature.
pero como corresponsables
But but also we are responsible and we have an influence, either positive or negative, in nature. So if we are more empowered beings by technology, our nature is also more empowered. And this is where we should not waste any minute and any time and lose focus. I insist in dynamic terms because technology changes all the time. Alfonso Jimenez, I would like to ask a question. Please take out your
Es que a mí me impresionan los
your globe
tecnólogos,
for
los
seeing the future,
ingenieros,
because I'm impressed by
porque tienen frecuentemente
engineers,
les veo
because
lo
they
que llaman sus
usually
mapas
have,
de
because
evolución
they have
tecnológica. Por
evolution
ejemplo, en la celular,
technology
cuando
evolution
estaba
maps. For example,
2G,
when we
tenían
had 2G,
3G,
they already had
y luego
3G,
mapearon 4G.
and they
Hoy
mapped
vivimos,
4G.
estamos entrando
And
en
now we are
México
in
un poco
Mexico,
tarde a la
a little
época de
bit late. We
5G,
are
ya se
getting
está
to 5G.
homologando y trabajando sobre
We are
6G.
working on
Y a
6G
mí
and
lo que siempre
having
me ha resultado
an
impresionante es que los
homogeneous
pronósticos de
timer. But
capacidades, de
what has
velocidad, de
caught my
latencia,
attention is that when we
que
talk about
prometen,
latency,
no los
speed,
cumplen, los superan por mucho.
what they promise, they not only achieve that, they surpass this, because they said 3G in 7 years, it came faster than that. So what can we expect in terms of technology evolution? Thank you. What an interesting question. Let me begin this analysis by saying that there is no strategy without technology, and there is no technology without a strategy. As long as we use technology as an enabler that provides value. I lived in Yucatan in the 80s. I lived through the Hurricane Gilberto. In Mexico City, we don't have hurricanes. We have earthquakes, but not hurricanes. So how technology can help us in the process of transformation? Technology itself is not magic. We have three pieces who balance. We have people who design the processes, who manage processes, and technology becomes an enabler. And as an enabler, for example, during the pandemic, we had to identify how Latin America democratized the use of technology, and now we can see users in banking, education, health, that we wouldn't imagine before the pandemic. Not long ago, we had students and professors, and we had a challenge to unlearn, because what we had in development plans, study plans at school, we had to redesign this, rewrite everything, and learn new skills, both soft and hard skills, to be able to face the challenges. As we said, Latin America is a seed. We are planting seeds here, and Mexico too. For example, when we talk about micro latency, AI, the power of computer installed in the country has allowed us to be more competitive. And where before we used to have an orientation towards industry, now we can take these to different communities and to creating different things in the region and delivering, based on the data that we now have, specific solutions in real time. Now, everyone has at hand computing power that we couldn't imagine a few years ago. And just to talk about some numbers, in 2025 we will be working with 200 zettabytes of information. For 2030, 1 yottabyte annually, and 90% is what we saw. Unstructured data, movement, videos, audio, animals, cubic meters, square meters, speed. How we can be able to make decisions in a few seconds, to be able to preserve species such as the jaguar, and to send help where it is required, and protect this biodiversity. Yucatan is an example to follow in Mexico, so we can have this expansion of services, value to these communities using this technology pillar. So this computing power, micro latency, speed, knowledge that we have as a community, government, academy, researchers, students, community. Congratulations to the students who are part of this, because every time these are subjects to improvement, and technology is the power that enables this. And let me add something, not only the speed of technology change, but also the speed for being owners of these benefits. There is a very common example. I will talk about this. How long did it take to achieve fixed penetration of landlines of 10%? And how long has it taken for mobile communication to penetrate in almost in 100%? In marketing, this is called time to market. Here it will be called time to socialize, time to be a better human being. So thank you to the technology. Nadim, thank you for you came from Egypt and Switzerland, where you live, and you're starting to become a local in Yucatan. We want to welcome you and say you can come here. Which are your perspectives? Well, to begin with, this project is inspiration to me to see how we can innovate, being creative and with collaboration, because this alliance is very, very unique. We have government, think tank, we have community, academy, and we don't usually see this in other parts of the world. It's a unique collaboration towards the conservation of nature. And this makes me very, very proud. And also to see the impact of a year of collaboration, all the videos and audio that we are able to see. And this is something very important. There are two things, two key factors towards the success of this project. In the first place, the multi-sector collaboration and then involvement of the local community. Because when we talk about technology, of course we have transformation, but with quick transformation we are not able to measure the real impact of the transformation towards the animals, plants, and communities. So the focus needs to be with caution, implementation of technology in an appropriate manner that takes into account the environment context, the nature context, but also the cultural context and socioeconomic context, and to be able to implement in a way that serves to the community as well as what we are aiming to conserve in nature. In this project, the focus is to measure, to have data, and to understand better, to know better what we have, to value it, and then be able to conserve. And that is the most important. We are able, if we are not able to measure, we will not be able to achieve conservation in an appropriate way. That is why the university, the students, have a very important role in this project, because they help us to use technology in a more powerful way. For example, without algorithms, we have just like a storage of data, and who will go there? Who will spend days and days and days looking and analyzing all of these pictures, images, and videos? So we have this creative piece to it, how to implement effectively, how to implement technology effectively, and how to take advantage of everything so that we are able to get to our goal, which is conservation of nature. Thank you, very good. You escalated the equation and you added an element that hasn't been mentioned, creativity and culture. We have technology, human beings, the rest of the nature.
pocos lugares en el mundo
and few places
gozan de
in the
tanta
world
creatividad que se
have
convierte en
so much
cultura.
creativity
Cultura
that
es
becomes
tradición,
culture.
cultura es
Culture is
identidad.
tradition, is
Si
identity.
ustedes salen por cualquier carretera
And
y
if you
usan
go
un
out
sistema de
any
mapeo,
highway
van
and
a ir
use
viendo
a
que atrás de
mapping
los
device, you
árboles
will
que
see
están
that behind
seguramente
the
a su
trees
lado,
that you probably
hay
see on the
pirámides
side,
que no han sido
there are pyramids
exhibidas.
that haven't been
Es una
shown yet.
acumulación de esa creatividad de
So it
nuestros
is
antepasados
gathering
en
the
Yucatán, y
creativity
vean la
from our
gastronomía, y vean
ancestors,
la
and
música.
look at the food, look at the
Y ahora
music,
trabajar con esta tecnología,
and now
para ello
working with
también,
this
insisto,
technology.
pocos lugares en el
A
mundo como
few
Yucatán
places in the world
históricamente es un
historically
fenómeno
have this.
histórico. Yo no sé si
Is
cuando cayó el
I don't know
meteorito
if when
nos
the
inyectó aquí,
meteorite
qué
injected here
bendiciones, pero
something,
qué bueno
some
que las
blessings,
tenemos.
I don't know,
Nos
but I'm
quedan
very happy
4
that we have
minutos.
this.
Regálenme
We have
un
4
minuto
minutes
de reflexión
left.
final.
Please give me
¿En
one
dónde
a
querrían
1 minute
vernos dentro de un
reflection.
año? ¿En
Where would you
dónde
like to see
siente que nos hemos
ourselves
quedado
in a
cortos?
year?
Lo que quieran, un minuto cada quien.
Anything that you would like to mention?
En un año,
Okay,
seguramente
in a year,
veremos una profusión más de la inteligencia
we'll
artificial
probably
en todos los
have
ámbitos de nuestra operación,
more use
desde
of
cómo
AI
estudiamos,
in operations
ya
and
no
in
solamente
everything,
qué
from
lugares escogemos
how
para
we
ir a comer,
study,
pero por
not
supuesto
only
también
where
cómo
we're going to
protegemos
eat, but
mejor
how
la
also
naturaleza.
how we'll
En
be
5 años,
able
yo
to
veo que
protect
va a ser
better
mucho más
nature.
la
In 5
penetración de la
years,
tecnología
I will see
para
penetration
ampliarse
in
a muchos más
technology to
espacios como
broaden
este
to
en todo
many
el
spaces
país,
such as this
también
in
gracias a
the
la
whole
conectividad.
country,
Y
thanks
yo
to
creo que en un
connectivity.
horizonte de tal vez unos
And
10 o 20
maybe
años,
in a 10 to 20
prácticamente
year
tomaremos decisiones
horizon, we
muy
will
informadas, con toda
take
esta información,
very
muy bien
informed
fundamentadas y argumentadas
decisions
para entonces
with a great
establecer planes
foundation and with
perfectamente
good
planeados y
arguments,
con una
so we
proyección
can
aún más
have
a
perfect
futuro,
plans
porque a pesar de que mucha
with
gente
a
teme que
projection
la
towards the
inteligencia
future.
artificial pueda ser
Because
utilizada de
when
forma negativa,
people are afraid
todo
that
lo contrario,
AI
o
will
sea,
be
realmente
used
la
negatively,
inteligencia artificial está basada
but
en algo muy
AI is
fundamental que son
based in
matemáticas y
something
lógica.
very
Y
basic
las
that are
matemáticas y la
math
lógica
and
persisten. Lo mismo la
logic,
inteligencia artificial.
and
Lo que
that
va a
prevails.
buscar todo el tiempo es la
And
persistencia.
AI would look for
Sí, cada vez que hay un
persistence.
cambio tecnológico, el
Every
ser
time
humano
we
acaba
have
con mayor
technological
productividad, con mayor
advance,
alcance. Mi ejemplo de siempre es
humankind
el día
ends
que
up
se
being more
revela la
efficient and working
imprenta
better.
mecánica,
For example,
los
very
escribanos
long
pierden su
ago,
trabajo.
when
Estos que escribían a
printing
mano. Pero nace la industria
started,
editorial,
you
nacen
know,
las bibliotecas
the
y
people who
hoy
used to
estamos
write
mejor
were left without a job, but then we had
Gracias. En un año, en mayo
editorial
2024,
work and
vemos
many
en
other
México
jobs
más
arise.
y mejores carreras profesionales. Hoy, por ejemplo,
In
Huawei
a
Cloud
year, we will
tenemos
start
corriendo,
seeing new
nuevas
and
carreras
better
como
careers.
piloto de drones,
For example, we had
en donde
drone
los egresados
pilot
ya
in
tienen
Huawei,
firmados contratos a nivel
where
global una vez saliendo
people,
de la,
where our
de la
students
empresa.
already
A nivel de
have
industria,
contracts
vemos para el
signed
año
after they
2025
finish
industrias más
studying. In
competitivas, más
2025, we will see
eficientes,
industries
más
that are more
rentables y con
competitive,
menos
more
riesgo.
profitable,
En
and
un
with
año vemos
less
cómo la
risk. In a
gente
year, we
de
see
todo el país en
how
América
people
Latina
in the whole
ha
country
sido
and Latin
incorporada a
America
estas mejores
have
prácticas
added
para
these
poder
best
entregar
practices to
resultados
be
más
able to
tangibles.
deliver
Vemos
tangible
familias
results.
más
We see
sanas,
families that are
vemos hogares
healthier,
más conectados,
homes that are
vemos
more
servicios
connected,
más democratizados
services that
y
are
también vemos
democratized.
Para el año 2024
And
en la
for
región
2024,
latinoamericana
in
un
Latin
desarrollo
America,
y un
we see
crecimiento a
development
nivel
and
Producto
growth
Interno Bruto mucho
in,
más eficiente a nivel
in
global.
GDP
Y en
that
lo que
is more
nos
efficient
preocupa
globally.
mucho en
And
Huawei
what
y en
we
Huawei
are
Cloud es cómo
occupied
llevar
at
estos
Huawei and
beneficios no
Huawei
solo a
Cloud,
las
how to
grandes
take these
industrias,
benefits not only
sino
to
también
the
a aquellos
biggest
estudiantes, a
industries,
las
but also to
familias,
students,
aquellas
families,
pequeñas organizaciones de las
small
cuales América Latina
organizations
está formada, de pequeñas y
that
medianas
that
empresas.
really forms
Cloud
Latin
computing,
America, the
inteligencia
SMEs.
artificial y el poder
Huawei
de
Cloud,
computar la región
AI,
forman
and the
parte de
power
los
of
pilares de
computing
este
are the
desarrollo
pillars of
y
this
transformación.
development and
Una vez más,
transformation.
personas,
Again, we have
procesos y
people,
sistemas
processes, and
llevando a México
systems
y a la región
taking
latinoamericana
Mexico
a
and
una
Latin America
competitividad global.
to global
querido Alfonso.
competitivity.
Regina.
Thank you very much, Regina.
Bueno, yo en un año lo que vemos desde
Well, in a
C-Mines
year,
como
what we
agencia
see from
implementadora de
C-Mines,
tecnologías para el bien es que este piloto
that this
que
pilot,
es Tech for Nature México en
that
Dzilam
Tech for
deje de
Nature
ser
in
solo un
Dzilam,
piloto
will stop being a pilot, and it is a bed that escalates the rest of the state, the region that connects with other projects with more species, and that helps us to foster connectivity for ecologic and biologic corridors, that we use this technology to be able to escalate to solutions in the following 3 years that are transparent, that create also business cases. We want these technologies to see that they can bring socioeconomic benefits for communities in the reserve and that are part of this transformation. And we can make this with transparency, credibility, so that the funds and capacities are able to move around the region in the following years. There is no better place than Yucatan. In the projects that I have had with the secretary, we live in Mérida, and they said, I want to take this somewhere else, and they took this to Tecash, and we need to take this everywhere. Thank you very much. What we see in the future, for example, in December, we negotiated the new goals for biodiversity in the COP15 in the United Nations. For IUCN, we want to fulfill this goal of 30% of protection to 2030. And we'll see that technology and the sector will be a lot more involved in these conversations to be able to achieve our goals. We will not be able to get to our goal without the sector, without involvement of the sector, but without communities who need to be part of these conversations on how we can use technology in a creative and unique way to be able to help them, help us, and help the world to better preserve nature. Thank you very much. Let me tell you a secret. Time is relative, but with you it flies. 40 minutes just went away. So a round of applause for my friends from the panel, but mainly thank you Huawei, thank you Yucatan, thank you community, thank you and congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. And yes, as Ernesto was saying, in this interesting panel, it is fundamental that we use intelligence, that we use technology to our favor, because it's been used many times for bad things. But when it's used this way, it's a great pride to share it with you. Thank you so much. And we continue learning. Time has moved on quickly this morning. We're almost at the end of this event, but today I'd be very pleased to bring to this stage Vicky Shang, who is the Vice President of Corporate Communications, who will undoubtedly be able to give us a much broader perspective as to what it means to Huawei to be able to convey these types of projects. What is happening with Huawei and the projects such as the initiative Tech for All, and the importance of being able to share these types of collaborations, why it is important to collaborate, why is it important to build new synergies and to start joining together. Vicky, thank you so much for being here today. Hello, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and from the press and also our partners, I'm very honored to be here today. You know, it's my first time to be in Mexico and first time to this region. I came from Shenzhen, China. It is more than 15,000 kilometers away from here. I came to Mérida, this beautiful city and place, for the specific Tech for Nature project. Yesterday, I went to the wetland with our partners and also our press friend. Although I didn't have the chance to have a glance at the jaguar, but I heard all the sounds of the jungles. I saw the seabirds flying over the water, and I saw a lizard climbing the trees. Yeah. All this make me, believe even more that we are doing the right thing. That is protecting the environment, protecting the biodiversity, and protecting our Earth. And during this process, we believe technology is performing a key role. Connectivity can make the real-time monitoring possible in the nature. And AI and cloud can speed up the processing of the metadata. And empowered by technology, researchers and scientists can do more for the nature. More we learned, more we can do for them. And at Huawei, we are dedicated to make sure no one is left behind in the digital world. And in 2019, we launched the Tech for All program. And Tech for Nature project was a very significant project. We worked together with IUCN. Yeah. And to date, we have already helped with nature reservation in 46 protected areas all over the world. And in this region, in Latin America and Caribbean, we have several projects. In Mexico, we protecting the jangwa, and in Chile, we are protecting the Darwin's fox. In Colombia, we protect the Amazon jungle, and in Ecuador, we protect the wide-fronted capuchin monkey. So, as Saida just showed today, just 1 year, we already achieved a lot, have the very excited findings, and we are looking forward to achieve more during all these kind of projects. And we are living in a world facing a lot of challenge today. But however, I'm quite happy that Huawei, also our partners, we are working together to make the world a better place to live. And thanks to all our partners, IUCN, Yucatan government, UPY, Sea Mines, Rainforest Connection, and also Dzilam communities. With all your efforts, we make this project possible. And maybe we are just a very small movement today, but if we look back at what we have done in 20 or 30 years from now, we will be proud of what we started here. We have helped a jangwa, a bird, a fox, and more important, a home. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've just said with us. How's the energy going? How are we doing? Yeah, do you still have energy? Good, because we've clapped a lot. Applause is always good to move energy, both internal and as external. So when we win, we raise our hands, right? When we're champions, and that's what happens. When you raise your hands, you feel that everything comes back and that we won again. So every time you feel that, clap or raise your hands, and let's do that again so you can see how our life changes. We're about to conclude this event, but we couldn't do it just like that. An event where technology, man, and nature have been present, but we could not do it without a message from who is, from the beginning, a key piece so that everything we have seen today may be a reality. He couldn't be with us today, but he's using technology to be with us today to show us how technology can also be used to join us. He is the governor of the state of Yucatan. He is Mauricio Vila-Dosal, and he's leaving us this message.
Hola, quiero darles la más cordial bienvenida a Yucatán a todos los que nos acompañan en el evento Rainy Cities México. Como saben, Yucatán es un estado con una gran biodiversidad, repleto de maravillas naturales y especies únicas en el mundo. Sin embargo,
beauties and species that are unique to this part of the world. We have challenges, and we also have changes in climatic effect. Its effects are having irreparable damage to the systems because the monitoring of our biodiversity is now being of prime importance. We've seen in the technology an opportunity to contribute to our actions of preserving and sustainability. That is why Yucatan has the project Tech for Nature, together with allies such as Sea Mines, Huawei, the IUCN, Rainforest Connection, the Polytechnic University of Yucatan, and the communities that are next to the reserve of Dzilam de Bravo. Thanks to technology, audiovisual technology, we're monitoring species that are key to the reserve of Dzilam, that are allowing us to understand the changes of the climate in our ecosystems. We've concluded the first year of this project, and we are the first state in implementing this initiative both in Mexico as in Latin America. Our next goal will be to use the data that we have accumulated to continue working with this system and applying this technology in at least 30% of the reserves of the state. This way, we are leaving the basis so that this system can endure throughout the years and can be used by experts to take better decisions in the future. Without anything to add, I'd like to thank you for being with the team of Yucatan to contribute to preserving our biodiversity. Thank you very much. Together, let's transform Yucatan state government. What the governor is doing is very interesting, and everything he is carrying out, and you can see the effort that he puts in his activities every day so that things can change. So thank you to the governor for these words, and thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you for making this possible, for having this event take place. Thank you, Tech for Nature, for this opportunity, so that we can all be here together. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to the authorities for their support and presence. Thanks to our friends from the press, to the great community of Dzilam de Bravo for opening up your doors and being so committed to this cause. Thank you so much to the strategic allies and to the teachers and the students that are a part of this change that I believe that will not stop. For me, it's been I really enjoy being in front of you today and knowing with all of you what is happening in this state, in this country, and how everything is changing the world with these small actions that become gigantic. So how do you celebrate when you win? What do? You raise your hands and do this good because we won again. And let's continue winning with this process. I'm Paulina Greenham, and before you leave, I'd like to invite you to all come up here to the stage so that we can have a picture taken and with this create history. Thank you very much.
Todo esto era tierra del jaguar. Pues a mí me encanta. Desde que era yo niño me gustaba saber que es parte nuestra. Es más, hay veces causo risa lo que digo, el día que yo me muera me gustaría ser un jaguar. El ser humano es